Today we'll be looking at Adventure Time Pirates of the Enchiridion, released in 2018. I'm a big Adventure Time fan in that I grew up with the show and I love its characters and world. To my knowledge, though, I've never played an Adventure Time game outside of the discontinued Card Wars app, so this will be a new experience. Briefly, for the uninitiated, here's a basic synopsis of the show. Adventure Time follows brothers Finn the human and Jake the dog as they go on adventures in the magical land of Ooo. Princess Bubblegum, a sentient piece of candy leading her sentient candy kingdom, often enlists Finn and Jake for nightly antics. Ice King, the leader of the Ice Kingdom, is also important, yet senile, oscillating between villain and ally depending on the situation. There's also Marceline, the Vampire Queen, a friend of the duo, and Cool Rocker Vampire. It's a really good show. I'm always hesitant with tie-in games, so I usually avoid them, likely because most of them seem to be shovelware. It's easy to take a brush job and slap the logo of a kid's cartoon on it. That isn't to say they can't be fun or charming in their own disjointed way, but I'm really hoping we're not in for another Gollum. I'd hate to see my bros Finn and Jake done dirty. I bought this on sale for $10 and without really reading anything on the shop page. I saw Finn, I saw Jake, I saw $10. Really don't need more of an explanation than that. But I also bought everything in the recent Fortnite collab, so maybe I'm not the best judge. From the title and the game's cover, it looks like we're going on a swashbuckling adventure. Marceline is here, so that's a dub. The game opens with a shot of Finn and Jake's treehouse at night. The first two lines of the classic theme song play before transitioning into a jaunty jig. While this song isn't bad, I was hoping there'd be a full version of the theme song specific to this game. Adventure Time has a history of changing the opening lyrics for miniseries or special episodes, so it would have been in line with the show. The jig doesn't loop, so when it's over, the title screen is silent, save for the crickets. We begin the game with Finn and Jake stargazing with BMO, their living Game Boy.
We boring you or something?
Yes, but also, my battery is low.
BMO heads inside to go to bed as the brothers fall asleep in the small boat that's attached to the treehouse. It should be noted that the visuals look not great up close. I'm not a big fan of cell shading, dare I say I might be a hater. I understand why it's used in games like this, so I'm not going to go super hard on it, but I do find it unappealing. The mouths look weird and don't seem to align well, it's just off-putting. The hard counter to this, of course, is the voice acting. Without looking it up, I can tell you the original actors have reprised their roles, and they sound perfect.
What the flip? How'd we get into the middle of the ocean?
I don't think we are in the middle of the ocean, man. Look!
The cutscene ends with Finn and Jake awakening to a flooded land. It seems the nearby Ice Kingdom is melted, leaving the land of Ooo in a Wind Waker-esque condition, islands separated by vast distances of water. This must be set in the later seasons, as Finn had a crippling fear of the ocean until the end of Season 5. A better boat floats on by, weirdly convenient.
Huh, that's weirdly convenient.
You know what they say, man. Don't look a gift boat in the mouth. Or something like that.
I don't think they say that.
I laugh when Jake says the same thing as I'm thinking it. The bros hop on to their new oceanic whip, and we're off to peep what's going on in Waterworld. The menu is themed with a neat little journal with doodles all over it, and based on the consumable items we start out with, this is a turn-based game. The doodle of Finn and Jake playing video games is peak Adventure Time. Piloting our boat, the cell shading looks better zoomed out. We move forward as Finn and Jake trade chatter.
Is that our fridge?
Jake, maybe we should grab some of this floating stuff.
Grab it.
We can use Jake's stretching power to pick up floating items out of the sea as we pass. This can be coins or consumable items, my favorite being pocket sand. Finn and Jake then break out into song, original for the game.
I'm not sure I like where this is headed.
Come on, Jake, raise your voice. Let's sing. Me and Jake are off to see the Ice King, or what's left in the case that he has melted. Come on, Jake, let's go and do our hero thing. Set course and let's sail.
Oh, I get it. My turn. We found a boat in the middle of the ocean, which is weird when you stop and think about it. So I'll stop and I won't think about it. Anyways, let's go.
It's charming and very evocative of the show, but it makes me wonder again why they didn't make an original opening song. If you're gonna make them sing, just do it. We hit the Ice Kingdom and are prompted to disembark. On solid ground, we're given the ability to swap between Finn and Jake at will. The movement feels fine so far, but I dislike that the camera moves a bit when jumping, trying to self-orient behind the character. I jump into the water a few times and the game just warps me back to where I was, Finn complaining about getting wet.
Dang, all wet again.
There doesn't seem to be any penalty for platforming failures, which I don't mind at all. For overworld powers, Finn's sword can break objects, and Jake turns into a scooter, which is crazy. While the controls of the scooter are lackluster, he says ow when you run into things.
Ow! Ow!
Again,
Ow!
charming. After ramming into ice, we meet with a wailing Ice King.
Ow!
His kingdom is melted, his penguins missing, his insurance uncovered.
But other than that,
Ice King, it'll be fine.
yeah, we can get this all fixed up. Somehow.
Dude, he's gotta know something about what happened. We have to find a way to make him talk.
Yeah. Maybe it's time we went all popo on his butt.
Interrogation time?
Interrogation time.
This leads to an interrogation sequence minigame, leaning into the backstory of the boys being the sons of Detective Joshua and Margaret. Both Finn and Jake can play good cop and bad cop. There's a spinning wheel, and you press A when it's over the option you want. After both Finn and Jake act, it resets.
Listen up, Ice King. You flooded our house, so you better start talking before I get really mad.
This is intriguing and reminds me of the social wheel from Oblivion, but much more stripped down. I can't imagine anyone getting the unintended outcome in this. It's not very hard.
Give it up, Ice King! Your whole kingdom just melted! Why? Tell me!
We learn from the Ice King that he's responsible for the flooding, and given his character, this is incredibly unsurprising. Our boy Simon here is known for his icy antics and lady snatching. His ice power and insanity comes from his crown, though, in a twist, it started melting ice rather than making it, so he threw it away onto a drifting glacier.
Good job, Jake! The interrogation was a success!
The crown is needed to fix this mess, so Finn and Jake accept the task of tracking it down, believing it to be headed towards the Candy Kingdom. It feels weird that the Ice King would just throw his crown away, but I'm not going to get into that lore. He gives Finn an ice sword as we head off, a special one that'll only appear in battle.
Cool!
Checking the map, it shows 9 regions for exploration, ranging in size. The cursor moves painfully slow across the map to the point of agitation. A new passage is opened up, no doubt leading towards the Candy Kingdom, so we embark. It's only a moment before we meet our first foes, banana guards on a ship of their own.
Jake, we've got company, man!
Let's show these chumps a thing or two.
The combat is turn-based as presumed, the classic 4 heroes and 4 enemies in a row facing each other. You know the beat. Action options cover the basics of tactics combat: attack, special attack, defend, item, run. Special attacks use a shared energy pool, with 1 point added every time a hero takes a turn. The item action can be taken in addition to other actions, but it must be taken before the other action. Enemies have weaknesses and resistances, as expected. Action selection is done by tilting the joystick, but the joystick must be held towards your choice or it will deselect, which is incredibly inconvenient. I can't recall another turn-based game with this style of selection. It feels very clunky. We dispatch our foes swiftly, and after our victory, the boys each gain a level. Experience points are earned independently, and Finn gains a little more than Jake for landing the final blow. With the spoils of our victory, the currency dosh, which is my favorite word for money, by the way, we can upgrade our heroes. Health, dodge, accuracy, attack, block, and the individual special attacks are all available for upgrade. I dump most of my dosh into dodge, hoping it'll be effective in the long run. And frustratingly, the same selection method is used here as well. Sailing to the Candy Kingdom, Finn and Jake sing another shanty as they go.
Oh, the Ice King, his powers went cuckoo bananas, and he flooded the whole of Roo. And now we are questing to find the last resting place of his crown, this mess to undo. Hey ho, this mess to undo. Hey ho, this mess to undo.
gonna sing all the way there, are we?
Nah, man. That'll probably get old pretty quick.
The ocean seems mostly empty beyond large unmoorable masses. The game stutters as the boat nears the Candy Kingdom, which makes me nervous. Docking incurs a loading screen, drawing questions about the experience stuttering. I thought it was due to loading the Candy Kingdom assets, but if they're locked behind a loading screen, I'm not sure what's causing the issue. While the loading screen was pretty short comparatively, generally loading times feel very long in this game. Docking finds the Candy Kingdom on lockdown. Entering anyway, the banana guards aren't happy to see us, striking on sight. We claim victory over a set of guards before being shown our goal, reaching Colonel Candy Corn, who we're hoping can explain the hostility. Off the intended path is a higher leveled enemy, indicated by the red colored icon. Tempted, I test my skills against the foe.
All right.
Aw, man. Can't keep a good dog down.
It isn't long before I'm completely curb stomped into banana bread.
Not cool, man.
Upon death, I'm reloaded from my last autosave. Because I'm reloaded rather than respawned, I regain all the items I used in the failed fight, which is really nice. I beat down some pixies a higher level than me, but one flies away as its execution nears.
Lame.
The chest they were guarding now stands open for the taking, but I'm unable to open it, which is really lame. Again off the beaten path, though accidentally this time, I fight another set of banana guards. While level-wise they're equal to the party, this fight takes forever. They're item spammers. More shield, more attack power, healing. Mid-fight, I use Finn's ultimate attack, Gauntlet of the Great Hero Billy. This finally KOs one banana guard. Ultimate attacks have an energy gauge separate from the special attack energy pool, and they're individual to each hero. Contributing to the gauge is also individual, with Finn needing to attack enemies to raise it, and Jake needing to take damage. A few turns later, the surviving banana guard undoes the result of our ultimate attack, reviving his friend. This battle was so long it made me wonder if I had missed an intended area on the way to the Candy Kingdom. If every battle was this item heavy or this long, this game was going to be torture. I eventually grasped victory, weary. I return to the path, finding the next fight. I run through this one swiftly and efficiently. This stumps me. Was the other fight a one-off, or was this one? I continue on, walking up a hill. Jake uses his power to grow large, lifting the party up onto a tall ledge. On the castle, we meet up with Colonel Candy Corn. He's become more ornery, and is untrusting of the heroes of Ooh.
That's High Admiral Candy Corn to you, landlubbers. I have placed my crew on alert level hard candy.
Huh? I think it means he ain't telling us squat. Let's interrogate his butt.
Interrogation plays, Finn and Jake asking why the banana guards are targeting them.
What the flip is happening here, Mr. High Admiral? We're looking for the Ice King's missing crown, but the guards won't let us pass. What gives?
We're on high alert to protect the kingdom from pirate forces, which means all non-candy persons are to be caught and thrown into the brig. That's prison to you.
They play it mostly good cop, not wanting to challenge the stubborn colonel. He's worried about pirates and suspects everyone who isn't candy. It takes a few questions, but we finally convince him we're not pirates.
We're not pirates, Colonel. You know that. Snap out of it. We need to find the princess.
I guess maybe I've gotten a little carried away with all this pirate business.
To further earn his trust, we offer to go find the matriarch of the kingdom, Princess Bonnibel Bubblegum. It's been a minute since she's been seen by the citizens, and the colonel is concerned. She was last with Marceline the Vampire Queen in the rear of the castle. We jump off the castle and quickly find Marceline hiding under a tree.
Finn, Jake!
She calls out to Finn and Jake, relaying that Princess Bubblegum has the Ice King's crown, but was kidnapped. She was unable to help the princess as they took her hat. A vampire, Marceline can't be in the sun without a hat to protect her, and she asks us to retrieve it for her.
I'm stuck out here. It was the only shade I could get to in time.
We need to get that crown and save people. On it. We'll be back soon, Marcy. Hang in there.
Yeah, stay cool.
You don't have to
The hat floats down the river, and we collect it with little fanfare. It doesn't go into an inventory as expected, and is instead held over the head. This limits the hero holding the item from taking overworld action, which is very annoying. On the short return trip, we're jumped by a few rogue guards, but we put them down.
Ow!
Hat on head, Marceline joins us as an ally. The cutscene dialogue gets desynced, cutting off the first end of Marcy's statement. The dialogue is the best part of the game so far, so this is a little disappointing.
Alright, so whoever took Bonnibel put her on a boat and sailed off in the direction of the evil forest. Or, you know, where the evil forest used to be.
Then that's where we have to go. Let's get back to the boat.
With her axe, Marceline is able to open the treasure chest we've been seeing around. This feels like a nice progression, the chest yielding gold and items. Thrashing more rogue guards, Marcy proves her worth instantly. She hits harder than the boys. Her special attack, Flaming Axe, has a higher power point cost than we've seen, but overall, she's the muscle we've been lacking. Unlike Finn and Jake, she doesn't have a blocking option, instead having a health regeneration option.
I'm really bad at this.
We totally rocked that fight!
Finished with the story here, a Gumball Guardian escorts us back to the beginning of this section. There's some side quests dotted around the kingdom now. I examined one offered by a candy citizen. It calls for bringing flour sacks to a resident's home, but as the cutscene shows the location of each, I think to myself, there's no way I'm doing this. They're not very far from one another, but I've already become exhausted with the movement speed in this game. It felt fine initially, but one kingdom down, it wears on me. While Jake's power is meant to remedy the speed issue, the controls on the scooter are the same as the boat, rather than the same as walking. It's a very strange choice. It also means anytime you want to go faster than walking speed, you have to switch to Jake, activate the power, and sit through the animation. When you want to do literally any other action, you have to deactivate it, watch the animation, and then switch to whomever. I can't think of a rational reason why they didn't just add a sprint. Unless, of course, they didn't add it to give Jake a function, which is terrible if true. Marceline seems to move even slower than Finn and Jake, though I can't say for sure. The idea of walking to those flour sacks, hoisting it over my head, walking it back, doing it 4 more times, it just seems like a huge waste. At Marceline's direction, we head out of the kingdom, aiming for the evil forest. A candy person asked for the party to find and return any candy kids scattered around before we set off, and I make no promises. We hit the boat, and with Marcy on crew, gain a cannon. This lets us shoot cannonballs, useful for striking flotsam. On open water, Jake sings another song, and we shoot at the reoccurring kraken.
What are you guys doing?
Just go with the flow, Marcy.
We're back on board our boat and sailing with Marceline safe from her grave. Now we're heading for the evil forest. Are we dumb or are we brave? We're off! We're off! On an adventure, we're off! We're off! The world to save, we're off! We're off! The evil forest. Are we dumb or are we brave? Are we dumb or are we brave?
Yeah! We are totally killing this sea shanty thing.
The cannon can't be used to shoot at enemy pirate ships, which feels underwhelming. Though there's only 7 or so enemy pirate ships, and they don't respawn, which is very pitiful for how large the ocean is. Nearing the evil forest, the game stops to load. Not a great sign. Once docked, we stumble upon Peppermint Butler, personal servant to Princess Bubblegum. He's gone mad from isolation, even though it's only been 4 hours since the flood.
Oh, ever since the flood, I've been trapped here, living like a savage with only my trusty friend Watson for company.
It's Todd, actually.
Shut up, Watson!
Dude, it's only been like 4 hours.
Look, man, we're trying to find Princess Bubblegum. Have you seen her?
Either way, we interrogate the Candyman for the location of the princess.
Man, you know you've always been my favorite candy guy. Tell us what you know so we can find PB.
We did see something, didn't we, Watson? Now, what was it? Oh, my poor head.
It isn't long before we learn Princess Bubblegum is actually just a head, having been kidnapped by pirates. Pep Butt takes off, and we advance, fighting varmints. I try to avoid the varmints, but fights will activate if an enemy gets close to any party member, not just who you're controlling, taking it out of my hands. We take the dub though, and I get an achievement for beating an enemy while underleveled. Next, we take on the pirates guarding the princess. I've settled into a beat. Finn is my generalist, Jake is my tank, and Marcy is my glass cannon. I'm sure this is how the developers intended them to be used, and the heroes settle into their roles nicely. I finished the fight with no problem. We chat with Bubblegum, who's in a fitting pirate outfit.
Princess, are you okay? Why are these pirates holding you prisoner?
I be fine, Finn, but you got to get me out of here.
Aw, man, PB's talking like a pirate, too.
We still need the key to free the princess from her cell, though this feels kinda stupid. Jake could break that door down easy.
There's got to be a key somewhere in the pirate compound. Just find it and unlock the door.
The key is at the end of an enemy-heavy path, and the gang is nervous.
There might be too many for us to fight.
Yeah, we're not exactly what you'd call stealthy.
Yeah, if only there was somebody here that could turn invisible or something.
Oh yeah.
Hang in there, Bonnabelle. We'll go look for the key.
Marcy flexes her invisibility skills, and we're tasked with a solo sneak section. This feels a bit like a waste. The enemies don't seem any different than the ones we've been encountering. Like the lack of sprint, this feels like an artificial situation created for Marceline to solve rather than one naturally solved. If she can sneak through here, why not every other section in the game? Why not make her do everything by herself? It doesn't feel thought out. We grab the key, easy. Marcy returns to Finn and Jake just in time for our boy Fern to appear.
Long time no see.
Fern! Oh man!
Fern is a complicated fella. He's an alternate universe Finn, turned into a sword, then possessed by a grass demon. He's leading the pirates, and is itching for a fight against his non-grass self.
And yeah, I guess we're gonna fight. Bring it!
At first I thought I was intended to lose this battle. Fern is beefy, and he hits like a truck. Midway, I started using items to give the characters the Jinx alignment. I figured if this item was everywhere, it's to prep you for the Fern fight. After more turns than I'd like to admit, I realized it didn't seem to be helping, and in fact was hindering me. Resigned, I focused on Marcy's flame axe. The fight was a little bogus, with Fern stealing my energy points, but overall, it felt good to win. Jake took the final hit and hit us with that classic,
Check, please.
Fern checked and the princess free.
It looks like one of the crystals was removed and put back in backwards. There. Good as new.
Jake? Where's Fern?
Oh, right. I guess I was supposed to be guarding him, huh?
You think? Arr, you scurvy dog.
We head back to the ship. Bonnie hangs off the side, and it's cool to see everyone together on a boat sailing. It doesn't seem like the princess is going to join our party, which is a shame. We pick up a candy child along the way, so I guess I'll be returning at least one. Routing back to the Ice Kingdom, we fight a pirate ship, no problem. Though there's no points of interest either. The sea feeling rather dead. Back with the Ice King, PB hands over his crown, restored to its original function. Able to freeze again, he goes about setting his kingdom off right. Before we set off, he asks us to find his penguins for him, telling us to leave them on a glacier near the treehouse.
We can bring him back here.
Nah, they'd just get underfoot or accidentally frozen into a wall or something. You'd be surprised how often that happens.
We agree to, though again, who knows. We leave as quickly as we came, off to get the princess home to the Candy people. Back in the Candy Kingdom, there's a discussion of visiting the Flame Kingdom, looking for answers to the Great Melting.
I'm also thinking Flame King might have gotten tired of ruling chipmunks and decided to start melting stuff. Like you said, speculating. We should check it out.
There's no way to get to the Fire Kingdom right now.
Bubblegum tells the boys to avoid this as powerful steam plumes are blocking access to that section of the ocean. It's floated that BMO would be able to navigate this, and it's now remembered that BMO is missing. Bubblegum floats going back to the evil forest to look for Fern, and it's less of a suggestion and more of a pointing finger.
And maybe you can find out what's up with the pirates while you're at it.
Sounds like a plan.
P-Bubs, you want to come with?
Nah, thanks. Things tend to get totally flooby wonkers if I'm away from the Candy Kingdom for too long during a crisis.
I'm not really thrilled by this backtrack. It feels like a waste of time. I understand both the crown and the princess needed to be returned to their respective kingdoms, But there had to be a better way to route this adventure, or at least delay the backtrack. Retreading water, the ocean is feeling more and more empty. At least in Wind Waker, you could make the boat jump to entertain yourself. Not so here. Back at the evil forest, the music changes, upbeat and ominous. Another boat is in our dock spot, so we land near Peppermint Butler. I complete his side quest, my first one, breaking 10 stink pods. I'm rewarded with a new ability for Jake, which worries me. Will not doing the side quest put me at a disadvantage? The ability is essentially Substitute, Jake covering the damage other heroes are intended to take. He actually uses his stretch powers to make mock versions of his friends in battle, which is a nice touch. Up the path, we see Bimo. He's decked out in a pirate outfit and has been kidnapped by a gang of pirates led by Lumpy Space Princess.
Quiet, landlubber. Finn, she's one of them.
No, Jake, I'm like their leader. Pirate guys don't stand around like lumping idiots. Get them, yo-ho-ho and stuff.
We chase after our stolen friend, leading to a puzzle. Two heroes have to stand on a pressure plate, which opens the roof to Bimo's cage. The third goes on to push a rock onto a third pressure plate, dropping a bridge over the cage. Finn says exactly what I'm thinking.
All that trouble just to extend a bridge. What kind of donk has designed this place?
LSP stands down as we stand on business, reuniting with Bimo. In the cutscene, we're levitating over the jail, though. I don't know.
Bimo, while you were with the pirates, did you see Fern?
No, they say that he went to the Fire Kingdom to look for his friend. The only other thing the pirates talked about was appeasing the lumping pirate queen.
Oh, great. What does LSP want now?
No, Lumpy Space Princess is not the pirate queen. She's the pirate princess. The pirate queen is the big mama varmint.
Bimo relays that the mother varmint, leader of the varmints, is causing problems. Marceline figures it's going after Princess Bubblegum as a form of revenge.
Bonabelle, guys, that thing is on the way to the Candy Kingdom. We have to stop it.
Come on, everybody. Let's get out of here.
This makes me low-key mad. I left the evil forest to go to the Ice Kingdom, to go to the Candy Kingdom, to go to the evil forest, and now the writing's on the wall that I'm going back to the Candy Kingdom. It should be noted, there's no fast travel in this game at all. On the plus, Bimo is now a party member, rounding us out to 4. He can scan enemies for their strengths and weaknesses. The screen for this, combined with the music that plays, is overwhelming. A squishy little guy, Bimo joins underleveled. Back on the boat, we leave for the Candy Kingdom. Having Bimo unlock sonar, but he makes this noise every few seconds, regardless of if I have the sonar on or not. It becomes very annoying very quickly. I find something with the sonar near the Candy Kingdom, but I can't figure out how to interact with it. So I just move on. We hit back to the kingdom just as the mother varmint is wrecking up the place. There's no prior fanfare, we roll right into the fight. It's pretty easy for a boss battle, no one gets knocked out, I never feel like I'm in danger. It doesn't feel nearly as oppressive as the Fern fight did. There's no real music here that I can hear, so I'm left with the character effect noises. The varmint growls, and it growls like every second. It's really obnoxious. In the final egg, she summons minion varmints, but this doesn't hinder me.
And that was us going easy on you.
We beat the fight, and PB thanks us for cleaning up another mess. Now with Bimo able to navigate, she tells us to brave the Fire Kingdom. It's been throughout, but I'll note it here. There's a lot of errors in the captions. Missing spaces, wrong punctuation, terrible formatting. After this fight, Jake jokes,
Most of the time, we're a lot better at solving stuff. Usually takes us like 10 minutes or so.
but the caption says 11 minutes. The difference in the dialogue suggests the captions are based off a previous version of the script and not the actual voiceovers. It's common for voiceovers to not match 100% post-recording. My voiceovers don't match my script, ever. But the lack of due diligence to reflect these changes in the subtitles leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm sure the majority won't care, but this really does piss me off. Accessibility aside, It just makes the whole project seem unpolished. And it's not even like I set them. Captions on is the default, so they knew a majority of the players would be using them. This, along with the dialogue audio being occasionally slow to start, which results in it getting cut off, makes for an ill experience. This game only shines in the voice acting and the characters, so these issues are important. Anyway, the game briefly explains the BMO sonar function as we set sail, which they should have done during BMO's maiden voyage. Another shanty plays, and I look forward to these.
BMO's aboard, we've got work to do. Off to see Flame King and his marine crew. We'll ask him some stuff like what's happened to who. And if he gets mad, we'll flood his home too. And if he gets mad, we'll flood his home too.
And BMO makes rhymes and sings with you too. Yay!
This was very upsetting. Between the caption errors, the song interruptions, the empty ocean, I'm starting to think this game was rushed. We chart a course to the Fire Kingdom, though I turn off the radar to try and hear the song, so I lost BMO's guiding path. It goes from the Candy Kingdom to the Fire Kingdom, but it doesn't adjust to where the player is, meaning I had to ride around until I found the path again, and then follow it to the end. A lot of little annoyances are starting to converge. Between the emptiness of the ocean and BMO's pinging, I now dread sailing. Docking at the Fire Kingdom, we're quickly pushed into a fight with an overleveled enemy, but I pull it out fine. We talk to Cinnamon Bun, or CB, the advisor to the Flame Princess, leader of this land. We probe CB about the condition of the kingdom, and he relays that everybody in the kingdom is cranky due to the cooling effect caused by the flood.
Hey, you haven't seen Fern, have you? We heard he was headed to the Fire Kingdom.
No, I don't think. Wait! Do you mean Green Finn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him a while ago. He was talking to a bunch of shadowy figures. I don't know where they went.
Was one of them Flame King? We think he might have helped Fern melt the Ice Kingdom.
Nah, he's still having fun being in charge of his chipmunk friends. He doesn't do bad stuff, except maybe nut raids on the squirrels sometimes.
Thanks, CB. We need to talk to Flame Princess. Can you tell us where she is?
I better not. She doesn't like to be bothered when she's cranky.
He won't tell us where the Flame Princess is, so we interrogate him.
Me and my partner want answers. Like now.
Stop yelling at me! You're starting to hurt my feelings!
I actually failed this for the first time. Jake suggests going bad cop, and I should have known better than to trust Jake.
You should know better! Flame Princess needs to be left alone! Guards! Guards! Help me!
Dude, we blow at this. Guess we'll have to search the island for Flame Princess now.
The game lets me retry it though, and I get it next go. This is the longest investigation scene by far, and it's grating being forced to kiss CB's ass. Eventually, he reveals the princess is at the valves. Unrelated, but his model looks like it got a facelift. After a brief run through the kingdom, we meet up with the Flame Princess, who can't help us in our search for Fern or information. Water is flooding into the kingdom's core, though, threatening a mass extinction event to the fire citizens.
The core is cooling down.
Aw, man, again?
Yeah, you'd be surprised how often it happens. As leader of the Fire Kingdom, it's the problem I spend the most time on. We really should build a better core.
Don't worry, Flame Princess. We're on it.
Beseeched by the princess, we go around the kingdom blocking valves by kicking boxes into the water. This doesn't make any sense to me, but hey, at least we get some clumsy use out of Scooter Jake. Valve is blocked, Flame Princess asks us to check the core personally, and we oblige. There's a brief puzzle, I guess, where we have to light all the bowls of fire to activate a special bowl with special fire, and then we can use that light to light another special bowl, opening a door. It doesn't really add anything, but I won't hate on the game for trying to be engaging, and it's much better than the terrible pressure plate puzzle in the Evil Forest. Through the door and at the core, we see the core has been almost completely extinguished. Fern rolls up, claiming ownership over the sabotage of the valves and flooding the core.
Seriously, dude? How'd you turn into such a jerk?
Jake calls him a jerk here, but the caption says dingus. Both are true. When Finn asks him for his motivation, Fern replies it was at the direction of someone else, designed to distract Finn and Jake, keeping them out of the way.
To distract you. They don't want you around until they're good and ready.
Yeah? Well, you're here. I guess you'll have to do.
Villain exposition isn't my favorite, but it does feel in line with Fern's character, so I'll give it a pass. Fern leaves us to fight a protector of the core, the fire giant.
Okay, well, have fun doing your hero thing.
It has 16,000 HP, but using BMOAnalyze.exe gives the player a tip on how to beat it. If you inflict Boggle on it, a status that lowers accuracy, it'll flip around, revealing its geothermic control module. Bashing this module will do increased damage. Lore-wise, the implication of this fight is interesting. After Season 6, there's only one fire giant left, and based on Fern's appearance, we're in Season 10, so the one we're fighting is the sole surviving giant. While the end shows the giant falling over, it's unknown if it's still in working condition or if we destroyed it for good. No one addresses it either, which is interesting. I'm forced to assume it'll bounce back. Anyway, Jake pretty much carries this fight, though Finn gets the last hit.
Yeah!
Yay, Beemo!
Post-battle, Flame Princess sends us off to look for Torcho, her father's niece, which is a weird way to say her cousin. She's living exiled on the nearby Firebreak Island, no doubt for the assassination she attempted in the show. We picked up some penguins in the Flame Kingdom, and they're also making noises like Beemo, so sailing is now even worse. On Firebreak, we go toe-to-toe with the guards as we trek up the island.
My name is Beemo. I'm here to say, let's get healed to save the day. Go, Beemo!
There's a fun little section where Beemo is alone, running through a small hole to go up a cliff, clearing a path for the others. This doesn't add anything to the game, aside from Beemo's cute self-hype dialogue.
Hooray for Beemo! Yay, Beemo! Beemo is the best! Yay, Beemo got it working!
All aboard!
We meet up with Torcho, who's ornery.
What is wrong with you? You would think that all of the guards you had to fight to get here might have given you a clue that I don't want to be disturbed.
It actually seemed pretty normal to us.
Yeah, we have to fight a bunch of guys to talk to most of the people we want to talk to.
And that doesn't send you any sort of message.
That we're persistent?
What do you want?
She agrees to help us solely due to the danger to her own life. She sends us off to collect 3 small cores and tells us to bring them to her at the big core. Luckily, the island's volcano dumps out the 3 we need, just as we need them. We get the first one easy enough, jumping over lava. The second 2 cores require a Marceline sneak section. Finn says he doesn't want to mess with the guards, but the guards are lower level than the enemies we've already fought on this island. It's clearly the game making up situations to justify the little used situational powers. As we're sneaking with Marceline, we see Beemo float down the lava river for no reason.
Hooray for Beemo! Yay,
What
Beemo!
the?
Beemo is the best!
It's really funny, but also very jarring. Shocked by Beemo's antics, we're forced to fight the guards Finn wanted to avoid, but now without Beemo, all for some reason. The wind comes swift and is followed by Beemo sliding down a lava waterfall to his death. No one is concerned. After a brief platform towards a boat, we meet back up with Beemo.
Beemo always finds a way.
He says, which is true. Confused, we board the boat and head back to the Fire Kingdom.
Sorry, dude. The boat's full already.
Back at the kingdom, we jake it to the core. Maybe jaking it isn't the best verb. And Torcho quickly fixes the core. Flame Princess offers a contriving explanation for why the heroes don't melt to death, a flame shield spell she had cast, which will work for about a month, which is nice of her.
While you guys were gone, I had Flambeau cast a long-distance flame shield on you. It's a new spell. It should automatically activate every time you come back for the next month or so. Give or take.
That is not exactly reassuring.
Flame shield exists in the show, but it's presented here in a way that feels very inorganic. Fire Kingdom wrapped up nicely, she sends us off to Ice Kingdom, rationally deducing that there's likely details leading up to the flood the Ice King neglected to tell us.
If I were you guys, I'd go back to where it all started. Ice King was the only one there when all this stuff went down. Maybe there's something he forgot to tell you.
It's clear she's correct, which, while totally believable given Ice King's character, isn't a great feeling. Fern calling the Fire Kingdom section a distraction compounds. Was this section really all for nothing? Embarking towards the Ice Kingdom, Jake has the crew sing another song. It sounds like this is the last song based on his phrasing, so the end of the game is near. Ironically, it's the worst song of the 5, though I can barely hear it over the cacophony of penguins sitting on my boat.
Alright, let's do this!
Oh, we're sailing across the sea.
Do we know where we're going?
Going back to see the Icy King. Oh, there's something he forgot.
No more toing and no throwing.
We're gonna work it out. We're gonna go home. Come on, you scurvy crew. One more time. We're gonna work it out, and then we're gonna go home. Tap is one. We're down. Mic drop. Boom.
Do you think this will catch on?
Nah, I bet by the time we start our next adventure, it'll be like this flood and all the piratey stuff never happened. Snack.
I shoot the Kraken twice during the voyage, the only soul in an empty wasteland. I return to the Ice King, and we confess we haven't figured out much about who melted his kingdom.
You guys have any luck figuring out just what the heck happened?
Nah, dude, we're stumped. All we know is that Fern's involved somehow. And somebody donked with the crystal in your crown.
That's all you know? After all this time? What have you guys been doing? Playing video games?
We also know that the crystal in your crown is probably connected to the Enchiridion. We've been finding pages of it everywhere.
The Enkai what now?
This last point catches me very off guard because I haven't found a single page of the Enchiridion. I didn't even know finding pages was a thing. There's no collectible page in the journal or anything. The closest thing are the penguins and the candy kids. This really made me question my understanding of the game. Forced to let it go for the moment, we probe the Ice King for more details. He eventually remembers that Princess Bubblegum's uncle, Gumbald, found and returned his crown before the flood.
That guy who's related to Princess Bubblegum, Gumbo or Gummy or something.
Her great-uncle Gumbald?
Yeah, that's the one.
Gumbald, a villain from the final seasons of the show, comes up behind our heroes, gleeful. He reveals he is the mastermind we're looking for and explains his plan.
With the help of the Enchiridion, I used ancient science to melt the blue guy's kingdom. Only Princess Bubblegum has the scientific ability to create a disaster this huge. So we decided to make it look like one of her experiments went kaflooey. And with her framed for the flood, she would be forced to step down, and I would step in and take her place as ruler of the Candy Kingdom.
But we never even thought PB had anything to do with it. Nobody did.
Yeah, you didn't do a very good job framing her.
Yeah, I kind of dropped the ball on the whole framing thing. That's my bad.
Gumbald acknowledges his failing plan, Cousin Cheeklike taking most of the blame.
What about all those people acting like pirates? Did you do that too?
No, man, that's just people being weird. There's a lot of weird people in Who.
Tell me about it.
Fern is also here, but he just runs after the Ice King.
Oh yeah? Well, you'll have to get through the 5 of us first.
Make that 4. It's been real, guys, but I am out of here. And try not to melt the place again. Freezing is hard work.
You take care of them. I'll go after the Ice King.
Bad guy revealed, we engage in our final battle.
Let's finish this.
Gumbald has a gauntlet that shoots and can change the element of his attack power. This is a neat concept, but I found it didn't make the fight harder or more interesting. He has 2 generic goons aiding him in battle, and he'll replace them if you kill them off. I don't understand why Cousin Cheeklay and Aunt Lolly aren't aiding him in this battle. They were standing right next to him in the cutscene. He's got high HP, but not as high as the fire giant, so the fight is manageable, no one getting knocked out. The battle is uneventful, and there's no real music, which makes it feel empty and pretty disappointing. As has been the trend, Jake is my best weapon, and gets the final blow. Defeated, Gumball is captured, though the world is still flooded. Bimo, ever helpful, points out a giant drain in the middle of the map, stating we can pull the drain's plug to restore the land of Ooh to normal. Both Finn and Jake agree to do so, but the dialogue stresses it can be done whenever, really, letting the player know they're free to explore the ocean before the game ends.
Yeah, guess we better go find it.
Well, yeah. But we could, maybe sail around a little more first. If you want to.
True. The water will go away on its own eventually. Whatevs, it's up to you guys.
Of the 9 locations on the map, there's 4 we didn't visit in pursuit of the story. Gelato Island, Mushroom Island, Matchbook Island, and the Badlands. All of these look small on the map, close in size to the Melted Ice Kingdom, so I'm not surprised they're additional. Before I pull the plug, I opt to hit up Gelato Island for the sake of it. It's just full of pirates. There's one side quest here, and it's to kill the pirates. Riveting. I stop at nearby Mushroom Island next, and there's just one side quest, shooting junk in the ocean. This is more respectable in my opinion than Gelato Island, at least it's somewhat novel. Most importantly, it's something to do while at sea, even if briefly. Deciding to go for the gold, I head all the way south, hitting Matchbook Island. This takes a lot longer than I thought it would, and aside from a few Kraken encounters, there's really nothing to do but wait. On Matchbook, there are no quests, just 4 penguins and 4 chests. One chest has a page of the Enchiridion, which I find funny and annoying. I look in my inventory, but I can't find it, leaving me very confused. Unresolved, I move on to the final islands, the Badlands. This nets me an achievement for docking at every island. I'm glad I went for this. It would be pretty weak to leave something like that on the table. There's a chest here that has another page of the Enchiridion, and I read the pop-ups in time to realize that the pages are what grants the characters new abilities. So yes, I had gotten a page of the Enchiridion before defeating Gumball, the one that unlocked the Jake Shield ability. I opened chests as I found them in-game. I got the achievement for opening 15 chests in the early Fire Kingdom. It's strange that I only managed to get 1 extra power in my story run, though I guess that proves that they aren't really needed. I was able to beat the game just fine without them. Even the Jake Shield ability wasn't needed, I only used it twice out of novelty. As I'm about to leave the Badlands, I decide to climb all the way up for the sake of it. I'm really glad I did. At the top, there's a wooden bridge leading to a mysterious portal. At first, I thought this was going to lead to the Nightosphere or Marceline's house, but instead it leads me to a familiar yellow cube. After going through an opening in it and shuffling around on some moving platforms, we're reunited with Prismo.
Hey guys, good to see you. All this water means there's fish everywhere, and fish are the mother of invention. Or something like that. Anyway, how about you guys help me out and catch me some fish? Pickling's my thing, and I've got this awesome recipe for pickled herring.
He has a quest for us to catch fish for pickling, but it's really cool just to see him, and to sit in his hot tub. Opting to end the game, I sail to the plug.
You sure you're ready for this, dude? All right, here goes nothing.
A cutscene plays of Jake reaching in and grabbing it. A whirlpool starts, the boat spinning around. The water resides, and we're back on dry land, greeted by the grasslands and the treehouse. The gang gathers together as Jake replaces the boat to the top of the treehouse, a finishing touch, setting the world back to normal.
There. Good as new.
Ice King comes through to share that the Ice Kingdom is also back to normal and that he escaped Fern. They rib him a bit for not reversing the situation and capturing Fern himself. Whatever.
Nah, I don't know where he is. Not really my scene.
Princess Bubblegum reveals she had her treacherous family locked up, but we soon see Fern come to break them out. The game wraps up with Uncle Gumball promising his return.
Bubblegum, this is not over.
The credits roll, the classic Adventure Time ending theme looping to an image of Pirate Bimo standing on a treasure chest. Ooh restored, let's take a look at the gameplay. The platforming controls are fine for a cel-shaded cartoon tie-in game. I rarely fell without intention. Invisible walls prevent you from falling off the side unless you choose to by jumping first. Jumping is fine, sometimes catching when trying to go up platforms, but no big deal. Sometimes the camera would clip when jumping down, but this only happened a few times. Each hero has a standard overworld ability. Finn, Marceline, and Beamos all destroy objects with slight differences. Finn is a forward-facing sword slice, good at cutting vines. Marceline is an axe slice, and the only way to open treasure. Beamo is an area of effect shock, useful for hitting multiple breakables at once. Jake is the odd one out here, his overworld ability being transformation into a scooter, which is used for faster travel. The on-foot movement speed is insufficient as discussed throughout the playthrough. I often neglected to go the extra mile for additional content based solely on how much time moving through the objectives would eat. I suspect the lack of sprint is due to wanting to give Jake a functional ability, which is a big loss for the game. Other concepts are easily in reach. A glider for jumping off ledges, a shield that prevents enemies initiating a battle. Though I don't see why Jake needs to be an outlier, just give him an object destroying ability like the other three. I rarely controlled anybody other than Finn. Marceline and Beamo felt slower than the others, perceived or not, and Jake's lack of object breaking left Finn the clear winner. If they could all sprint and Jake could collect Dash like the other three, I would have cycled between them at a better rate. In addition to the standard ability, each hero has a more specific overworld ability as well. Finn can use pirate lookouts to mark treasure locations on the map. Unless you're a completionist or looking for additional powers, this isn't useful. This isn't solely on Finn though. The map is really terrible in the game, the sensitivity of the cursor is diabolical, but the edge scroll is much faster. Meaning, when you finally get the cursor to the edge to scroll down the map, you're gonna overshoot. This puts the nail in the coffin for this ability. Marceline can turn invisible to avoid enemies, but only when alone and in specific sections. These sections feel extremely forced, and while the invisibility fades after a few seconds, button mashing keeps you in an unseen loop, dissolving any need for stealth skills. They had other options here. She's capable of hypnosis, even though she doesn't use it in the show, and could use that to drive enemies away. She could play her bass to lure enemies in. Though if it were my choice, I would have given her the ability to fly the heroes up ledges and over gaps the way Jake does. Beamo can unlock electronic gates, and this is an okay use of his skills. It seems in character, and it's functional. The downside is there aren't many of these electronics outside of the Evil Forest, which makes sense. The Evil Forest is split between pre-Beamo and post-Beamo sections, so the gates work here to guide the player correctly. They wouldn't work in any other kingdom, as you play them completely with Beamo or without Beamo. An upgrade system to this ability would have salvaged it. Beamo can open bronze gates during the Evil Forest, silver gates during the Fire Kingdom, gold gates post-game. This would have also encouraged more post-game exploration. Jake can grow large in specific areas to rise up cliffs and cross larger platforming gaps. This is the most useful and the most used of the four. I don't have any notes on this one. It makes sense, but again, I would shift this to Marceline. If shifted, I would give Jake a hot air balloon form, which could be used in two ways. The first would be for fast travel around the current island. You would find and unlock waypoints as you travel, and Jake could ferry the gang between discovered waypoints. Pretty simple. The second would be island fast travel, which would only be usable at the docks. Jake would transform into a larger balloon, carrying the boat with them. This could be constrained as needed, like island fast travel unlocked post-boss fight, or limited to the larger kingdom islands. As for the boating sections, there isn't much. The controls are the same as Scooter Jake, which is annoying on land, but fine in the expanse of the ocean. Each character plays a part on the boat, an ability tied to them being in the party. Finn steers, basic. Jake can grab items out of the sea, but you'll never get anything beyond dash and consumables. Marceline's cannon is fine for hitting the debris in the Kraken, but can't initiate fights against pirate ships. Beamo's sonar leads to the next location, but again the path is set and it doesn't orient to the player. I also believe the sonar function can find items under the waves, but that's conjecture. I couldn't figure out how to use this function. The sea is empty beyond the 7 enemy pirate ships, and the Kraken, who pops up now and then for you to shoot at. There's a few locations you can sail through, like the village with the windmill and Lady Rainicorn's house, which feels like a waste of potential.
Hey, remember when you were tied to that, Marceline? Crazy times.
Yeah, don't remind me.
I don't know why this game was set at sea if all the action takes place on land. The only rational reason I can think of is to give the perception of an open-world Adventure Time game without actually having to deliver. You don't have to film the world if most of it is underwater. Still, a few things could have salvaged this. First, a customizable boat. Go full Phantom Hourglass, let players swap out parts from the prow to the hull, with sets based on different kingdoms. A hoistable flag with a range of unlockable designs would have been awesome as well. Make enemies like the pirate ships respawn, and add more enemies like the Kraken who can be killed with the cannon directly. It needs more smaller islands with treasure and points of interest, like stranded characters from other kingdoms. You could report these characters to a coast guard of sorts rather than having to transport them yourself. A portal similar to Prismo's but on the ocean, leading to a small flooded section of the Nightosphere or Mars would have been cool. Fishing. Not Jake grabbing a fish with his hands for Prismo, real fishing, with a fishing section of the journal. Why do these games never have fishing? There's a lot that could have been done to make the central component of the game actually central. What is actually central in this game is the combat, which is lackluster. It's turn-based, which is fine, but most battles felt as if they dragged on. There was never a point where I felt I was doing more than chip damage. The game has a ton of status and element alignments, but most of them went unnoticed. Bonked was the only worthwhile status, making the enemy much more likely to miss. The element alignment was a good idea, but the only way to find out what enemies were weak to what was by using BMO's Analyze ability. That's fine and cool, but when you exit that screen, the information is lost. There's no way to recall it aside from wasting BMO's turn again. The entries aren't even stored in the journal for viewing between battle, which is a huge waste of created content. Not to mention, you get BMO halfway through the game, so you're already used to just not having that information. I'll mention here that while BMO can't hit or tank, he does have an ability to generate energy points, which makes him completely essential. As for the others, Finn is billed as the generalist attacker, but I found he never hit hard enough for my liking. His Ice Sword attacks are good, but by the time I was generating constant energy, I had better methods of dealing damage than using him. Marceline hit hard when she joined the party, but very quickly fell off. Jake, my dark horse, became my carry when combined with BMO's energy generation. Twister, where Jake smacks around randomly and can inflict bonk, was my main driver. While it could inflict bonk on Jake as well, the status didn't seem to affect the accuracy of Twister, so I could just do infinite Twister machine. It got to the point where Finn and Marceline were just filler. Obviously this isn't ideal, I wish there had been equipment in the game so I could make the others more useful. The ultimate abilities, those special ones that build up with their own special conditions, fell off pretty hard and pretty fast. Finn's Gauntlet deals damage to one enemy, but doesn't seem to scale with its level, going from one hit KO to completely mid. Jake is the best again with his Steamroller, which damages all enemies, but this doesn't say much, it's still very weak. It's not worth using over the Tornado. Marceline's Werewolf Frenzy changes her into a wolf where she does more damage, but I can't control her actions. I didn't like this early game, but as she fell off, I found it more acceptable. I wasn't doing anything with her anyway. BMO is similar to Jake. His move heals the party, but it isn't worth using over the energy generation. The enemies are mostly generic, and there isn't much to say. They have little differences, like the pirates attacking twice unless under 50% HP, or the varmints digging in they butt.
What?
But nothing crazy. The boss fights were fine, again Fern being the hardest, which made the rest seem underwhelming by comparison. The lacking music in these battles was a very strange choice. As for the difficulty, there's no way to change it, but you probably won't need to. The battles are drawn out, but they're not hard. The hardest moments in the game were in the very beginning when I tried to bite off more than I could chew. Even after everything, that battle with the banana guards who spammed items was still the most difficult the game got. I don't think anyone was knocked out in the second half of the game, making muffins completely useless. Most of the other items were useless too, rotting in my inventory. There's a whole line of status preventative items that feel like such a waste. Along with buying items, Dash is used to raise stats. Experience gained in battle raises your level, and a higher level gives you the option to buy more stats. This makes buying items kind of stupid. You can find items by breaking objects, and really that's enough. I bought some items in the beginning, but I stopped when I saw how they stockpiled. For level design, I won't rehash my beef with the water sections, but the land sections aren't great either. The kingdoms aren't large, with maybe the Evil Woods being the largest. There's little to do beyond following story beats and inconsequential side quests. You'll see citizens and little structures, but you can't interact with these. The platforming again isn't much, but that's fine. There were a few points where I jumped off ledges toward my goal, unsure if that was intended. Breakable objects containing Dash are scattered everywhere, so if you're stuck against enemies, it's pretty easy to grind for stat boosts. Aesthetics are a big part of the game's charm, even if I don't like cell shading. Some models look weirder than they ought to, like Cinnamon Bun. The kingdom's themes are carried through, though, in a clear way. You know without a doubt when you're in Candy Kingdom water. The boat combat looks good, the boat's sailing onward during the fight. The items and statuses have names in line with the show. Again, the voices are perfect. Princess Bubblegum and Marceline have nice pirate-themed outfits, and so does BMO for a moment. I wish they had different outfits for everyone, maybe one for each kingdom you could unlock. That seems like an easy hit. Aesthetically, everything is very in line with the show. The story is pretty short. Gumball rigs the Ice King's crown to melt ice all over Ooh. He hopes people will pin this on his niece Bubblegum so he can take her throne. No one does. Finn and Jake try to figure out what's happening while being menaced by Fern. They save the princess from the pirates and get the Ice King back his crown. They also relight the Fire Kingdom core Fern had rigged. Finn and Jake go to ask the Ice King to remember again what happened to his crown, and Gumball shows up, taking credit. We thrash him, and the world goes back to normal. The story, frankly, is garbage. It doesn't make sense, there's no real reasoning for the direction. People point Finn and Jake towards places, and they just go until they can go no more places and confess they don't know. Adventure Time is known for a more out there sense of self, but it isn't completely nonsensical. The world of Ooh has its own order, and that order doesn't feel present in this story. It feels as if the developers hoped you'd turn your brain off to enjoy the vibes and not notice the plot issues. Also, some characters feel weirdly missing, like Lady Rainicorn, for instance. For the music, I've said my piece about the opening song. It should have had an original theme song with full lyrics. The sea shanties are the highlight of the game, which is a shame because there's only 5 of them. Putting pirate taverns in the kingdoms would have been really cool, where you could re-experience the previous shanties and unlock a few new ones. And while Marceline sings backup on some of these shanties, she never leads her own, which is a complete travesty. If you're gonna get Olivia Olson into the booth, do the world a favor and give her a song. As seems to be the case with this game, it leaned away from its strengths. The rest of the music is fine, a pirate undertone, in line with Adventure Time's sonic profile. Looking through the soundtrack, there is high-powered boss music, so I don't know if my game was glitched and it didn't play, or if it was low and I couldn't hear it. I don't know. I'll check the footage. I'll put the answer on screen right now. Overall, I would rate this game a 4 out of 10. The combat is mid and slow, the ocean is empty, and the plot is the bad type of nonsense. But the visuals look good for what it is, the characters are fun, and the voice acting is great. The game leans heavily on the show like it ought to, but it feels stretched between being a sloppy love letter and being a cash grab. Looking at the Xbox achievement data, the first achievement for passing the interrogation has a 55% earn rate. Directly after is the achievement for the first battle, with a 1% drop to 54%. This tracks given the close proximity. The next set achievement is the Fern fight, which has a rate of 12%. A staggering 4 out of 5 gamers who earned an achievement were lost in the Candy Kingdom and the first part of the Evil Woods, which honestly is crazy, but it makes sense. 8% go on to beat the Varmint, and 6% the Fire Giant. Ending our stats, 5% of gamers beat both Uncle Gumbald and finished the game. So for this game, Fern is our great filter. I'm sure he'd be proud of that. The game is short. I clocked in 7.5 hours, though probably closer to 6 if we account for time I wasn't actively playing. While it didn't feel like a waste to me, it would probably feel like a waste to non-fans. Though to be fair, if you're not a fan of the series, you have no business playing this to begin with. There's other better games to satisfy you. If you want turn-based, go and play Final Fantasy or Fire Emblem. If you want sailing, check out the Wind Waker or those MMO games with boats. If you want open world, play anything released in the last decade. If you want more water, go play Pokemon Sapphire. But if you want to come along with me, and the butterflies and the bees, and to wander through the forest, where we do so as we please, well, you can only get that here. I'll see you next time.